goes across the ropes now. Well played there by Bortel. Just scooping it over the fine leg region and getting himself a boundary. He goes on to 26. And the total now on to 80. 81. 81 for 2. Win over number 9. Bortel is driving out to extra cover, wants a single. A shout of no as Roit was backing up. And luckily for him, he gets back into his crease. Total remains 81. He's driving beautifully, square of the wicket, 4 runs. You can see it was pitched up and he opened the face of the bat, drove it between the extra cover fielder and the sweeper on the boundary. And he picks up 4. So he's now 85. 85 for 2. And with that boundary, Bortel goes on to 24. Kenny plays it out to short extra cover. They want a single. Lariat was a covering ground. Couldn't keep it, couldn't pick it up. Total goes on to 85. So at the end of over number 9, it's 85 for 2. 25 to Bortel. It's Roit. In fact, it's Roit on 9 and Bortel on 24. So it's Captain Roit Padel who will take strike. That's it. You know, he's at the non-strikers end. So Bortel has been there from the inception. Started the innings, but he's still there. He's lifting that out too long off. This would drop inside the boundary and it goes across the ropes. And that's 4. That mid-off being up. Deliberate shot there by Bortel to a delivery that was pitched up. And he moves on to 28. The total now on to 92. He's trying to square the wicket. Long run for the man on the boundary. They will come back for 2. And tidied up there by the fielder. So 2 more to the total. And Bortel trying to being blocked by the tree, not getting his individual scores yet as he's working it out to mid-wicket, who races off the boundary. Larry Edwards picks up, keeps it down to a single. And the 2-3 for 2 as Bortel signals to the pavilion for some water. It's a pretty hot day, and Captain Roit comes back into strike and open the face to backward point. Melius is there, and there is no run. Roit looks rather busy. He's on 16. And his soft hands out to extra cover, and he gets a single. Total now on to 94. 94 for 2. In fact, Roit, he moves on to 18 and being blocked a bit by the scorer. But Bortel, who should be on 25, face the final delivery of the 10th over. He advances and lifts it out to mid-off. Long on, he's taken. He mistimed it. He was looking to go over mid-off, inside edge. And long on, coming off the boundary, Atney Lewis took well-judged catch. Bortel goes back.
And it's now 94 for 3. And disappointing end there for Bortel, but success for the Windwards. And the Windwards will be very happy. So it's Bortel now making his way back. Earlier we see Asif making his way back to the pavilion. Partnership being broken. So at the completion of over number 9, that should be over number 10, as Jora makes his way out. So Jora joins his captain. Good start for him. And total remains on 94. We should be in over number 11. So Sandeep Jora joining his captain, Red Padel. Again, there's Yorker and delivery. They go through for a single. Melius picking up, not able to release it. Bubbles out of his hand, and they're through for a quick single. Total goes on to 95. So the single takes Rohit to 18. Jora comes into strike, takes guard from umpire Byam. That top edge, landing safely. There was Hodge covering grounds. They're coming back for a second, but in the end, they got that what looks rather dangerous in the end, getting it comfortably. It was not a good throw from Hodge, who was on the move, and the players, batters scamper through for 2. So he's off the mark in Jora. He's on 2. Total now on to 97. 97 for 3. After 10.3 overs. Good delivery, taking on the pad, down to third man. And Byam now signals leg byes. Total now on to 98. It's 98 for 3. So Ned wants to make further inroads for the Windwards. And beautifully played, but well fielded by this Descartes at fine leg, but that was well played by Roy, the captain. Just swiveled and traveled very quickly, but Descartes was in the right position, picked it up on the bounce. Total remains on 98. So far, a pretty tidy over by Ned. Sure, he'll want to finish very strongly. Okay, gets a Yorker, and there was Roy just digging it out and getting a single out to mid-wicket. And he goes on to 19. The total now on to 99. So at the end of over number 11 in 99 for 3, it's going at 9 runs and over. And we see Asif Hooper, change of end. Started out from the southern end. Now he's been shifted to the northern end. And Rohit Padel, captain of Nepal, he's on 19. Jora, who has recently joined him, he's on 2. And it's going to be Rohit Padel on strike. So some players in the distance. There is a long on, a deep mid-wicket, long off, a backward point on defense. Sweeps by Rohit out to deep mid-wicket. Descarte comes off the boundary, keeps it down to a single. So 100 comes up for Nepal in 11.1 overs. And Rohit goes on to 20. Chora goes back, forces it out to extra cover. There is no run. Quicker delivery. He had to come down pretty quickly on that. Hustled him a bit there. Striving is out caught. You can hear it from here. Driving beautifully taken there by Douglas. And he went up immediately. That was pitched up outside the autumn. He was driving, getting an outside edge. Douglas took it gleefully. And there it is. The disappointment there by Jora as he makes his way back. So he goes back for 2. 100 for 4 here. Nepal batting first here at Park Hill as the players seize the opportunity to refresh themselves. So too the umpires. A pretty hot day here at Park Hill. Bright sunshine. It looks like Colbin makes his way out. To join Captain Padel. So this time a left-hander comes out to do battle. So it's less, so we have a left-hand right-hand combination. And Hooper playing in front of his home crowd. This is his home village. Picking up that scalp in his second spell. And he'll bowl over the wicket to the left-handed Gulshan. Gulshan goes back and plays it out to backward point, and there was Captain Melius moving smartly to his right. Picks up, keeps it down to no run. And he's forward defensive. He works it out to short mid-wicket. Hooper moving smartly to his right. Again, keeping it down to no run. So tight over here by Asif Hooper, and a successful one indeed as well. I think just 1 run coming off the over so far. And he goes back, works it out to square leg. They go through for 1. They would settle for that as the total goes on to 101 for 4 at the completion of over number 12. And a good over by Asif Hooper. 2 runs coming in that over, and a wicket as well. And we can see Melius now having a word with Hooper. Perhaps Ned will continue. So there's Gulshan Cheha, who is on 1. He will take strike. And it's going to be Ned to continue. So Gaishan having taken guard. He's on one, looks around the field. As Ned skips in. He's taking on the body. They scamper through for one. And in the end, good running there by Captain Padel, just shadowing it, just allowing Ned to go past him. And that was taken under the pad. They scamper through for a leg bye. And total now on to 102. 102 for 4. So Ned and now ball to Captain Rohit Padel. It's down the track, drive square. Hodge, nice piece of work by Hodge, keeps it down to a single. And they're going through for a second, the return comes in, he's out, run out. Not smart cricket there on the part of Gaishan. Looking to steal a single. And just lobbed it to Douglas. And he was run out by some distance, but he lobbed it to Ned the bowler. Some rebuilding would have to be done on the part of Nepal. This is over number 13. 102 for 5. And let's see who joins his captain. Airy joins his captain. And so Airy in the first game, really seeing his team through. Coming in at number 7, played a very good innings indeed. And saw his team home. And seems to favor the ball coming onto the bat. And there's down the leg side. As Padel looking to whip that down the leg side, misses. White signal by umpire Bayam. And the total now on to 104. 104 for 5. Over number 13 in progress. In lovely sunshine here at the Parkhill playing field. And not a lot of breeze. He's driving square down to third man. Otney Lewis is there. Picks up. Keeps it down to a single. He goes on to 22, and Airy, who is yet to get off the mark, comes in to strike. Now he's looking to take guard from umpire Bayam, who's just looking to the pavilion. Now he has given the right away for Airy, who now marks his crease. 104, 105 for 5. As he's driving out to extra cover, beats extra cover, but mid-off. Tidies up, keeps it down to a single. The total goes on to 106. 106 for 5. As Captain Padel comes back into strike, so Airy off the mark. Padel on 22. He flashes at that outside your stump and wide signal by umpire Bayam. Total now on to 107. 107 for 5 in over number 13. So a bit of encouragement being given to Ned. He's looking to run that down to third man. Luckily for him, he didn't get a touch. Douglas takes it cleanly. There was Captain Rohit looking to run that down to third man, and he misses, and Douglas taking it, standing some 15 or so meters back. There is no run. So Ned has been rather tidy in his spell, and he works it out to mid-wicket. Mid-wicket comes off the boundary. Just a single. Total now on to 108. 108 at the end of over number 13. 108 for 5. Good tidy over by Ned. And really keeping the pressure on. As we see Melius having a word with Hooper. Ball being tossed to Hooper, and what would think, I think this is the final over for Asif Hooper. Going to see over number 17. Over number 14 to be bowled by Asif Hooper. And Captain Padel, who is on 23, Rohit Padel, will take strike. So Hooper decides to bowl between umpire and the stumps. And he's having a word with Douglas, the keeper. And perhaps Douglas would have observed something, just running down and having a word with the bowler. Again, he's playing it neatly down to fine leg, and they go through for a single. And Redhead was there, keeps it down to 1, so he goes on to 24. Padel, as Airy comes back into strike, 109. 109 for 5. And he goes back, tucks it down to short fine leg. Again, he scampers through for a single. Redhead moving smartly to his left fields. Hodge was covering ground to his right, backing up. And the total now goes to 110. 110 for 5. We are in over number 14. Sweeping at that, missing and taken cleanly by Douglas, who removes the bails. But no damage done. So there was a captain essaying a sweep. In, goes back, tucks it out to mid-wicket. They have Scossa for 1. Hooper is there. Keeps it down to a single. And total now on to 111. Nelson, very superstitious number for the English. And 24, 25 to Captain Rohit Padel. Airy, who's on 3. Guides this out to the sweeper coming off the square cover boundary. And keeps it down to a single, so 112. So no boundaries being scored in recent times. And so the win was really pulling things back. 112 for 5. This time he's sweeping out to square leg. And Hodge moving smartly wrong. Feels the return comes in. And just a single. So the total now on to 113. Very good over indeed. And a good spell by Asif Hooper. And being congratulated there by keeper Dylan Douglas. So at the end of over number 14, it's 113 for 5. And Ned will continue from the southern end. He will bowl number 15. So it's 5 to Airy, 26 to his captain, Rohit Padel. And so it's Nepal having first strike, having won the toss and decided to bat. So Nepal in some pre-practice matches before the World Cup here in the Caribbean. T20 World Cup slated for the 1st to the 29th of June. Some 20 teams will be featured in that competition. In fact, Larry Edwards comes into the attack, and that was played very smartly out to short extra cover. And they scamper through for a single. So Captain Padel rotating the strike. He goes on to 27. And Airy, who is on 5, comes into strike. He cuts and beats backward point. Hodge has some running to do. He can't get there. He goes across the ropes now for 4. And after some time now, a boundary. And the total now on to 118. 118 for 5 in over number 15. Sammy plays it out squared. Milius covering grounds, not picking up cleanly, and they threw for 1. Airy with that single, he goes into double figures. And the total goes on to 119. 119. And that single, Airy, should be on 10. And it's forward defensively. That is lobbed to a short mid-wicket. Had there been a forward short leg, that would have been an easy catch. But in this T20, Airy looking to run that down to third man, misses, taken cleanly by the keeper, who removes the bails, but the back foot was well grounded. And over number 15 comes to an end. So 28 to Padel, 8-2. Looking at the scoreboard on the far side, 10 to Airy. And it's what? 26 to Captain Padel. So Descartes would pick it up from the northern end. Has some 2 wickets to his credit. So 2 out of the 5 wickets that have fallen. And to Descartes, who is going to pick it up, bowling his right arm medium stuff from the northern end. So it's Captain Rohit Padel. And he works it out to mid-wicket. Lotney Lewis covering grounds, feels well, keeps it down to a single. Return comes in and overthrow there, and they're scampering through. No, I think they were looking for a second, but eventually they were scampering back to their respective creases. In fact, they got 2 runs. And he's whipping, looking to whip that down the leg side, misses, wide signal by umpire Butler. And the total now on to 123. So 1-2-3 for 5. We're in over number 16. Descartes just losing his line there. And that went down the leg side. Captain Padel must have been disappointed missing that. They can work that out to backward point. They go through for 1. That's all they will be. As the total goes on to 124. 124 for 5. So rotation of the strike. Airy comes back into strike. Sporting number 45 on the back of his shirt. Shadrach Descartes, St. Lucian. In the Windward Island Volcanoes, get a good delivery take down there. There was an appeal there by Descartes, good delivery. Maybe an inside edge into the pad. He wanted a single, but he was not there. Descartes was closing in very quickly. And we recognizing the danger. Has very quickly returned to his crease. So 124 for 5. 31 to Captain Rohit. And 10 to Airy. And he's driving that out to wide extra cover. Covers grounds, feels well. Beautiful piece of work on the boundary. And they come back for the second. Total now on to 126. So good piece of work by Long off on the boundary. 126 for 5. It's working it out to mid-wicket. That would beat Hodge, that 4. Hodge looking to cover some grounds, but that was sweetly timed. And into defense it goes for 4. 130 now for 5. And 130 for 5. We are in over number 16. Airy, who is on 14 according to our scorer, in. I think that's a good delivery. Once a single, it's not there. So good finish there by Descarte. 130 for 5 at the end of over number 16. So some 4 overs remaining. And it would be pretty interesting to see how Melius use his bowlers in these fading overs. We can see Larry Edwards to continue. He will bowl over number 17. I think there's Kavem Hodge, who still has 2 overs in the bank. There's his Otney Lewis, the off spinner, who has not yet bowled a delivery. So not likely, but still Redhead, who also has 2 overs. So he has options. But it's going to be Captain Rohit Padel to take strike. Larry Edwards is going to be his final over. So Captain would want to push on from here. As Edwards would be between the umpire and the stumps. And he scoops that over fine leg. Long run here for Redhead, who pulls it back inside the boundary. They come back for the second. Once a third, it's not there. And that was Captain there scooping that over short fine leg and getting himself 2. He goes on to 33. The total now on to 132 for 5. We're in over number 17. He swings top edge, that would clear the fence. It does. That's over mid-wicket for 6. Sweep shot, and he went high over mid-wicket for 6. Total now on to 138. And Captain Padel goes on to 39. 138 for 6. 39 to Padel. 14 to Airy. So there would have to be a replay. Well, the ball has been returned. See, third umpire in Cameron Green making his way out with a box of ball, but that ball has been returned. Umpire Butler was just on the fence there, just checking. So Edwards now picks it up. Throws it out to Butler. In fact, it appears as if there's still a ball to be retrieved. Umpire Butler is there. So too is Descarte. So play has been held up momentarily. Umpire Byam really inspecting the ball. He's satisfied with the condition. Now tosses it to Larry Edwards. So play will resume after a short break. 39 to Padel, 14 to Airy. So a good partnership building here between these two. And Larry Edwards will continue. Padel looking to take the aggression to the bowler. Looking to take that attack. Again, he's looking to scoop that take near the chest. There's Douglas. And he gets a single. He goes on to 40. Douglas standing up. Reaction time there. Very, very limited. And so he goes on to 40. So Larry Edwards, he would now bowl to Airy. He's driving, beats extra cover and down to defense for 4. It was short, it was wide, it gave him the room, the width to free his arms, and he banged it past Asif Hooper at short extra cover and down to the boundary for 4. The total now onto 143 for 5. And he's slapping that over long on for 6. A good over here for Nepal. Already there are 2 6s in the over, a 4. Already I think some 18 or 19 runs some scored off the over. 149 for 5, over number 17. I think there's a final delivery for Larry Edwards in his spell. Previous game had 3 for 20 off his spell. And he's driving. Asif Hooper covering grounds, knocks it down at extra cover. They're coming back for the second, and they will get it easily. And so good aggressive running on the part of Nepal. And the over comes to an end. It's now 151 for 5 at the end of over number 17. And let's see who's going to pick it up from the northern end. Looks like Ned. So it's going to be Ned to pick it up from the northern end. He's there with his captain Melios, trying to decide on his field. And it's going to be the captain, Padel, to take strike. He's on 40. 26 to Airy. So Darren Ned, right arm, fast medium. He's slapping that pass backward point. This would go across the ropes. It does. Well played there by Captain Padel. The total goes on to 155. He moves on to 44. And he inspects his bat immediately when that was struck. But he's picked up a boundary of the very first delivery. So putting pressure on the bowler very early in the over. So he had some width outside the off stump. Ned would want to correct that. And again, he opens up and guides it down to third man. They go through for 1. They will come back for the second, and they will get that comfortably. And total now on to 157. Padel goes on to 46. Seem to favor that offside. He opens up and open the face of the bat and running it down to wide third man. So 157 for 5. And he's driving again out between the backward point and the wide third man. They come back for the second. The return comes in. Not a good one. And 2 more to the captain. He goes on to 48. 159. looking to be very aggressive. The running between the wickets has been very, very good indeed. So 48 to Padel. Areas on 26. 159 for 5. We are in over number 18. So 2 overs remaining. He's looking to scoop that over. Third man misses, taken cleanly by Douglas standing back. And there is no run. So a precious dot goes into the scorebook. 159 for 5. Kenny opens up. Good piece of work on the third man boundary and keeps it down to a single. Larry Edwards on the third man boundary, diving effort. And you can hear the shouts of congratulations. 160 now for 5. So with 1 delivery remaining in this, the 18th over. As Airy comes in to strike. He bowled him. Off stump, cartwheeling out of the ground. Yorker length delivery. Airy FC in a big drive. Misses and the off stump went walking. Success that the win was needed at this stage. Breaking that partnership, Airy makes his way back for a good supporting innings here to his captain. And Nepal now 160 for 6. 160 for 6. Captain Padel is still there. And Sampal Kami making his way out to join his captain, going in at number 8. So Sampal joining his captain. His captain is on 49. Sampal will not have strike. And it's going to be Redhead with the penultimate over. And he will be bowling to Captain Rohit Padel, who surveys the field. Let's see, there is a man on the fine leg boundary. Third man inside the 30-yard circle, backward point. Extra cover, sweeper. And he's driving down to third man. Anthony Lewis getting his big frame behind it. Keeps it down to a single, so 52 Padel. And he will give you the stats in a minute. As Sampal will take his first delivery. So here comes Redhead. Yorker length digs it out, not able to stop it in his follow through, and they scamper through for 1. And the total goes on to 162. So good delivery there by Redhead, right up in the block hole. And Sampal had to dig it out. So 162 for 6. He's looking to swing. That beats the keeper down to the boundary. That's 4 wides. I would think, yes, the wide come signal here by umpire Bayam. So 5 runs added to the total, 167. So there is Padel 50 coming in of 35 deliveries, 4 fours, and so Padel continues to push on. He moves on to 54. The total now on to 171. 171 for 6. So Sampal, the non-striker, he's on 1. 54 to Padel, who is on strike. And he's driving out to mid-off. Catch taken. And there was Ned at mid-off. He was driving straight into the hands of Ned, who takes the catch. 171 for 7. Diving catch there by Ned. And success on the part of Winwards. He makes his way back and out in the middle. So 2 new batters at the crease. So Padel having had a pretty good knock for so Practice makes his way out to join Sampal. So Practice takes guard, looks around the field. 171 for 7. Success for Redhead. And that is slapped over the top. That would clear the fence. It does. That's 6. It was back of a length and he stood up and he slapped it over long off. And clearing the fence for 6. And the total now on to 177. 177 for 7. Lots of 7s. And I think there is a 1 delivery remaining in this, the penultimate over. Over number 19. And he's swinging at that top edge. Lewis is circling underneath it. Takes the catch. And so success for Redhead of his final delivery. Having been smacked for 6 the previous delivery. He came back, picked up the wicket off his final delivery of his spell. And it's now 177 for 8. 177 for 8 here at the Park Hill playing field. So Nepal just losing their way a bit. And with 1 over remaining, we wait to see who will bowl that final over. It looks like Ned. And as I am now joined by Anthony Denny, who had other duties to perform. So welcome to Park Hill playing field and welcome to the final over of the Nepal's innings.
Thank you very much, Charlo, and good day to all who are in tune to this broadcast. Of course, you're following us on Facebook on VC3 Channel 114 and also on our YouTube page. 177 for 8. The Nepalese team batting first here. And when I was following the game, and there was an onslaught early on.
Definitely there was. But the winners have pulled things back as Bohara comes out to join Sampal. So Sampal will be on strike. He's facing up to Ned, who is bowling this final over. His last over. Sent the stumps flying. Ned in. Got a Yorker length delivery. I know. Sampal is coming down hard on it. And Ned knocking it down. And there is no run. So a precious dot at this stage goes into the scorebook, Eddie. So 5 legal deliveries remaining.
Without a doubt. Ned for somewhat of a shortened run, but he's really generating some pace.
And he's taking on the pad onto a short fine leg. So 2 dots go into the scorebook. And Nepal 177 for 8. So Ned, he has had a good spell. And kept things tight. And really want to finish very strongly here. And he's swinging that out to mid-wicket who comes off the boundary. Descarte. And not a good throw indeed. And giving away that extra run. So the total goes on to 179. 179 for 8. It was a high return, and there was Douglas looking to pluck it out of the air. And it bubbles through his hands. And the batters scamper through for a second. So 179 for 8 with some 3 legal deliveries remaining. Swinging and missing. And good over so far by Ned. Some 3 dots in the over, just 2 runs. And he would want to perhaps take out a wicket or ensure that there are no boundaries in the final 2 deliveries.
Well, thus far, a very good last over here from Ned as he continues.
He's driving and missing again outside the off stump, throwing the kitchen sink at it, as we would say, missing, and another dot goes into the scorebook. So a very, very good over indeed by Darren Ned for the final over, 179 for 8. 1 legal delivery remaining. And Ned, can we see a dot ball? We'd wait to see. Sampal taking on the pad, and they scamper through for a single. So let's see, any signal from umpire Butler? There are no signals, so inside edge into the pad. 180 for 8 of 20. And I think the win was really pulled things back very nicely, Eddie, getting among the wickets and really putting pressure on Nepal to the back end of the innings.
Yes, and the bowling attack, must be commended here today. Parker, as you know, a very picturesque field indeed, but it's a very small outfield, and 179, a target of 189 runs per over. As we would have seen in the very first game last Tuesday, is gettable here at Park Hill. And we must commend the effort of the Wooden Islands bowling outfit. Ned, of course, leading his team off. And the likes of Descarte and not forgetting Larry Ellis and company. They must be commended.
Yeah, they definitely have to be commended. I think they kept things they're very tight. There was one occasion where the Nepal had the bowling under some pressure. But from the moment they got that wicket, they continued to put some pressure on Nepal, pull things back. Nepal finishing at 180 for 9. And I think the winners really, they would have strengthened their spin attack. But we note that Otney Lewis did not even bowl. So, but the spinners came in, they held things tightly, held their own, and Nepal seem to favor the faster stuff.
Without a doubt, they like the ball coming onto the bat, and we saw that, of course, in the first game with the likes of Irie and Sumpal and Bertel, who unfortunately didn't replicate the innings for the Nepalese as they would have liked for him to do so today. But they've demonstrated in uncertain terms that they like that ball coming onto the bat. All in preparation for T20 World Cup 2024 taking place here in the Caribbean and the USA. 5 matches to the stage here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And certainly, of course, the work is ongoing to make sure that SVG that we're fully prepared and ready for Cricket World Cup 2024. But I think at this point in time, should take a break. And then we'll come back.
For the innings.
Friday, May 17th.
Upper Bay Street comes alive
with runs and rhythm as we unleash the vibrancy and magic of Vincy Mass 2024, along with the Icc World Cup Trophy Tour. Dive into the hottest carnival in the Caribbean, where the infectious sounds of calypso and soca music fills the air.
The sweet sounds of steel pans spread across the streets, accompanied by the energy of Mardi Gras.
Come and experience the thrill,
the nostalgia,
and the unforgettable moments of the Icc World Cup Trophy Tour.
You're invited to unleash the spirit and dance into the heart of the celebration
as we launch Vincy Mass 2024
on Friday, May 17th at Upper Bay Street. Get ready to unleash the runs and the rhythm,
the vibe, the energy, and the pace.
Carnival again, say we love play. Marching we feel, say we love play. Carnival is in the
Friday, May 17th.
Upper Bay Street comes alive
with runs